Hi, I'm Judge Maybelline Ephraim, and you're back for another session of Wow, Women of Wisdom. We've talked about betrayal. We've talked about dealing with betrayal and after betrayal. We've talked about so many things, and we're going to talk about anything in life. But today, we're going to talk to you about another phase of life that we cannot avoid, and that is grief following the death of a loved one, whether it be your father, your parents, sister, brother, grandchildren. The whole concept of grief, we all are going to face it if you live long enough. Our sister Evelyn has gone through it recently, the loss of her granddaughter, Lauren, suddenly, totally unexpected, who was her son's daughter. And we all share in that grief. Um, to my left is
My name is Constance Mora, and I am really happy to be here today, even though it's a subject matter that's not happy, and we will find some joy and some peace. But I'm just happy to be here with my sisters.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Braxton from the Braxton Family Value, and there's something that we should talk about because I think everyone deals with it, and that is death.
And my name is Beverly Hawk. And yes, it is that very most difficult part of life, but it is part of life. And it's something that you have to deal with. And in time, you'll understand, you'll live with it, but you need to learn to deal with it hand on. It's not easy.
No.
and Sister Evelyn is. It's been most recent for you. I think all of us have experienced death in our families, but you just experienced a recent loss. And I must say, one of the things that I'm proudest of us women of wisdom is that we recognize that and we were all there for our sister. And it was an easy thing for us to do, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody said,
Came
she's
together.
hurting, we gotta go. Just as simple as
Absolutely.
that. And sometimes people, you can't think about yourself during these times. You can't think about others. You can't think about your agenda. It's a time for you to think about the person that's still living who's grieving. Evelyn, how are you doing?
You know, I'm taking one day at a time. And one thing that I just hold on to, that everything is done in God's own divine order. My granddaughter, Lauren, as you guys know, was 24. Her birthday would have been that following week. And so we had a memorial. She was cremated, of course, and we celebrate going home service and her birthday. And it was beautiful. Now, how can death be beautiful?
Yeah.
It's the people and the atmosphere that was around it. As my sisters came in, the women of wisdom came and they embraced me and loved me. And we need that.
Right.
We need that.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes, I don't care how old you may be, sometimes you're just puzzled.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Lord, what? What are you doing for God's sakes? It's one thing when a person has been ill
Right.
a long time. You expect that.
Right.
And you prepare yourself mentally. You prepare yourself for that. But when someone give you a call with the young lady and there's nothing wrong with them, call you and say, Lauren is dead. You're like, oh my God. What? It's like a nightmare, a horrible nightmare. And I'm sure the people that are listening, they understand that because they probably have gone through it all also. And so when I look at my son and when I think about my granddaughter, it's a twofold thing. My heart is bleeding because my granddaughter is gone. My heart is bleeding because I see my son in pain.
Yes.
And there's nothing I can do about either of them. So this is my suggestion. Life is short. Whatever has happened with you or someone in the family, let it go for God's sakes, because you just don't No. It is an appointed time
Appointed time.
Yes.
that we all have to, as I would say, get out of here.
Get out of
Ex-
Dodge.
we got
Yeah.
we have to. So I just believe that everything is done in God's own divine order. But I do thank God for the 24 years that He gave us with Lauren, because there are a lot of people that didn't have that time. So I won't complain. I'll just thank God.
So was it not something with her heart that so many young people are going through and they don't realize it and don't know about it? You keep hearing about these young athletes on the basketball court, and all of a sudden they fall dead, and they discover that it's a heart malfunction of some kind. Some kid running and fall dead, and it's a heart malfunction. And was not Lauren one of those similar occurrence of something with the heart that no one knew about, no one expected, doctors had not seen? What take do we give to people about medical care and getting? Did she lack the medical care, or did the doctors ignore it, or just wasn't there?
Well, sometimes the doctors don't see it.
That's right.
They don't see it. And so when they are not looking at it, then that disease is constantly taking over.
Right.
And that's why a lot of our young people just fall dead. Because from birth, it was something wrong with the heart. From birth. But they didn't see it. And so it is what it is. And it's what you call life.
Yes.
We just move on and thank God
Yeah.
for
That's
Jesus.
that challenging part of
Yeah.
life.
But also, Beverly had gone through a lot also.
Yeah. Yes. My daughter was 17.
Wow.
She was one of my older twins. She was actually leaving for college 2 weeks from the date she passed away. And what initially happened, the first time, because I was one of those mothers that hovered, I allowed her to go on to a family reunion with another family, friends. And on the onset, on the way back, apparently my daughter was not she brought more children back with her, and my daughter was not in a seatbelt. And actually, because there were smaller children in the car, and being the nature she is, she probably said, "Oh no, let the smaller." I know her heart. And so I lost her on a trip back, back to car accident. And I mean, I had a feeling something was wrong because she had been calling me and calling me. And that particular day, I had gone out of town, came back, and I was, it was before the days of so many years ago, everyone didn't have a cell phone.
Right.
But she would go to her, she would call me on a public phone or someone's house or what have you. And I knew the people and all of this. But it was something about that day. Is your children are so much a part of you.
Yes, they are.
And so I could feel her. And I kept saying, okay, I spoke to her yesterday, but I haven't spoken to her this morning. I purposely cut my trip short so I can get home. I wanted to be at home so if she called, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to do that. Had to do that. And when I received the call that it was an accident, devastation couldn't even describe. We hopped on the next plane. Father and I, we were divorced.
She was out of town?
She was out of town.
Oh, wow.
It happened in Texas. So Father and I and her twin, and actually she was alive during the time we were in communication with the hospital. We kept calling, got to the airport and called, and they said she's gone. You could hear my daughter scream all over the airport. Broke her heart, and I was just trying to console her. It's such a...
How'd you deal with it?
It's unbelievable how you just wish, you see it almost like this is a nightmare that you're going to wake up.
Yeah.
That at some point someone's going to say, oh, you're just sleeping, girl, wake up, or something. It's not that. It was just, and then there were times when I knew, being her twin, she always called her security blanket. My oldest daughter, she was leaving for school also. This was the first time they're going to be separated, going to different colleges. So I called Stanford. I said, look, this has happened, and if it's any way possible, can my daughter delay and come back the following semester? But she said, no, Mom, I'm going to go because I know that's what Jam, we called her Jam. I know that's what Jam would have wanted because they were both, my daughter's a doctor now, but their plan was to grow up and have their own clinic and all of the doctors together. So my daughter did fulfill the dream. She said, I've got to do it because I promised Jam that was something we were always going to do.
Right.
And so, for me, it was day by day because you just someday, even to this day, it's been 25 years, and I still,
25 years ago. Wow.
that I can still think about something will happen or something would, her favorite ice cream, Ben and Jerry, or, someone make a comment and we'll laugh about it. It took me a while to even laugh about it because she was very comical. It took me a while to even laugh about it. Laugh about something she said. And,
Right.
There were times when things would happen in the house and other children say, oh, Jam is here. And then we began to laugh. She always slipped on this one stair in our house. And so my kids began to slip on that same stair.
Really?
And they kept saying, oh, Jam is here. She was always known for that. But she's such a good heart. Her heart loved children. And I know that's probably what happened. And someone said she had just been holding a baby. She gave the baby back to the mother. They took off.
So let me ask you something. My legal head is turning. You know that. And this is a family friend. You let her go with them. You entrusted your daughter to their safety. And they were supposed to have a seatbelt on. And people weren't wearing she wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Accident occurred, your daughter died. Did you sue?
Try. I got an attorney. They didn't have anything.
What about
I
the
did go to
insurance
the
policy?
attorney. Well, the insurance
The car
covered
insurance
her.
policy.
Car insurance policy paid for what most of the funeral expenses. It's not
Right.
very much, other than
So you
that.
got the little maximum policy.
Right. Exactly. And
I
that
was just
really
wondering because
it.
sometimes people say,
Because-
I'm not going to sue because that's my
well,
friend.
Well, it wasn't a friend of mine. Actually, it was people that were. It was her. She was a friend of the family. The the son, the daughter. Yeah. And so that's how I've known them for years, but that was initially how it happened. They had asked, and I said, okay. And really, for me, I had never allowed any of my children to take trips without me. That was
So
the
did
first
you feel
time.
guilt?
Oh, I felt a lot of guilt. I felt a lot of guilt. But I say, this is God. I just said, thank you, Lord, for the 17 years. I said, thank you for the 70 years because she was nothing but joy to me. And at that point, I knew. I said, it was just her time.
It was her time.
It was
Ooh,
her
y'all
time.
some stronger women than me.
Yeah, it was her time.
Ooh, my little girl,
Nothing you
Lord
can do
Jesus.
about it.
Yeah.
I admire you because I often wonder, Lord, if that was me, because what I experienced was my niece, who was my favorite niece, and she was like my child. And from the day she was born, I kept her as often as I could, and I was at her house as much as I could. And as a matter of fact, she was so spoiled by me that when I did get married, got pregnant, she was upset that I was pregnant and I was about to have a baby
have
to
to share.
replace her. And then when she found out it was going to be a baby girl, she really wasn't so happy about that because she didn't want to share Auntie. But she was 19, dating, tragedy. Boyfriend got jealous. They broke up. They had an argument. They broke up. He didn't want to let go. He walked up to her car, parked at a city street on July 4th. That evening after we had just finished a wonderful family picnic at her mother's house, my sister's house, and walked and shot her point blank in the head.
Jesus.
And at the time, I was a prosecuting attorney. All I felt was, got to get him. Got to find him. Got to kill him. Got to kill him. That was my family, my brothers. My sister was just grieving so, but I was like, got to kill him. He can't live doing this. And I'm a prosecutor. That thing hurt me so bad, I refused. I could not go to court because he went to trial. And one of my colleagues that I went to undergraduate school was the head prosecutor in the trial. And I said, I can't come. I refused to go in the courtroom because I was so afraid that I would end up getting arrested. Because at that time, you could carry a gun in the courtroom because they didn't have any machines.
Oh, right.
And you could walk in the courtroom with a gun. And during that time of my life, I carried a gun. for safety. And you could carry a gun as long as you didn't use it and as long as it wasn't filled with bullets. But I didn't trust myself. It's like I want to kill him. And if I see him, that's what's going to happen.
That's heartbreaking.
If I
Very
see
much
him,
Heartbreaking.
I know the word of God. Thou shalt not kill. I know vengeance is mine. But I'm telling you, that was my response was anger and vengeance. I wanted him dead. No trial. Why you need a trial? We know you walked up to the
know
window.
you did it. Yeah.
Shot it point blank. Kill him. He walked away with a manslaughter conviction.
What?
Ooh.
No one to testify. Whether they had an argument, whether she had done anything to him. So he had a self-defense claim he had a heat of passion claim. And he walked away with manslaughter, conviction for manslaughter. But that thing hurt.
I know it did.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And my poor sister, for years, no, to this day, we don't celebrate 4th of July. No more 4th of July celebrations in my family. It's not the same. We had the greatest picnics, so much fun in the front yard, in the backyard, the barbecue, and the eating in the sea. Woo! Grief is, death is hard.
It's
It is
hard.
very hard.
Very,
It is
Yeah.
very hard.
It's very hard.
And I think it took my sister, I know it took her a lot of years, but recently I knew she was over it because I heard another family a woman talking about the death of her child, and she wasn't doing anything, she wasn't going anywhere. And my sister said to her, girl, you got to let go and you got to live. Evelyn, tell Michael, can't, not his fault. We got to help him to live.
Absolutely.
We have to help Michael to live.
Absolutely.
You been through that?
Oh yeah. I mean, way in the beginning. That's the top thing in our family.
your
We have
mother.
My mother passed away at 29. I had just turned 10. My sister passed away 2 months before that. She was 9, and my sister and I were like twins. We were close like that. And then, of course, my father and my brother. So my whole immediate family. And you know, the thing about it even till today, this is like for my mother, so almost 60 years. But at certain times, like her birthday was, her passing away was June 2nd, and my father's birthday was June 1st.
Oh.
And it's always something that's every
To
month.
remind you.
So it's a reminder. But over the years, because I have really learned how to lean in to the Lord, only prayer, because when most of my family was gone, people would say, what can we do? What can we give you? How can we help you? I'd say, just pray.
Just pray for
pray,
me.
because that's the only thing
That's
that
it.
you can do is just pray for me, because I don't know who's praying, and I know prayer works. But little did I know, even I was praying. My father said, go in your room and pray, because I used to get a temper, you know, and because I handle it like in an angry way. And what I noticed too, children grieve, but people sometimes, especially at that time, they gravitate toward the adults who are grieving. They hug each other, they console each other, they talk. But
And
like
ignore the
children,
children.
and ignore the children. I remember one
brought
thing
up
with
a
my
great
dad.
point.
A great
With
point.
my dad,